Hey guys, this will be episode 6. Welcome to the world according to the Great One. And I am Clifford Adams Jr. Thank you guys for joining me again. This week and today, we'll be talking about the power of voting and whether it is time to get rid of the two-party system we have in the country. Now let's start with our two-party system. We are a democratic republic country. Coincidentally, our two parties are Democrat and Republican. Other parties that we've had in this country include the Whig Party that was back in the early 19th century. Even some of the presidents have been part of that party as well. I believe there has been 4 or 5. I could be wrong on that. Other parties that exist now include now, if you want to count them, Tea Party Republicans, which I don't count them. They're still Republican. You have independents. You have libertarians. You have the quote unquote Green Party, if they still exist. You have so many different things, and then you just have people who just don't have a party at all. Let's address the two-party system in reference to why it's important that we vote. Because I think both parties are at fault on why our country is the way it is today. Not only are they at fault, but also we, the people, should actually take more responsibility and more the blame for why our country is the way it is than the people we elect. Now you guys are probably going to say, how in the hell? It's simple. We put them there. We voted for certain people to be in these certain positions. And when they don't do anything like they say that they're going to do, or they don't quote unquote keep their promises, then we want to come down on them. Then we want to bash them when a lot of us are no different than they are. A lot of us as American people don't keep our promises to other American people. So why should these people that we elect into power, why should they do the same? But here's another part of that. The American government does not fear you or respect you, the American people. I'm going to say that again. The American government does not fear or respect you as an American citizen. That is why they do whatever they want to do, and there's no repercussions to their actions. I saw this in the movie, and it's one of my favorite movies, and also one of my favorite comics, which is V for Vendetta, where V says the government should fear their people and not the other way around. Very true. And that's one of the truest things I've ever heard. And the reason why it's true is because it's quite simple. I think we should. I think the American government should fear its people, not the other way around. But I think why we fear them is different. I think why the American people fear the government because they believe that that the Army, the Navy, and they believe that the entire military will be used against them and kill their own people, which will very well happen. As if we've seen in Ferguson and many other places, they will arm up and defend. And they will arm up just to prove a statement and to prove a point that they still own you, so to speak. Let's take it a little bit further. Voting is a right. It's a fundamental right of this country. Just like it is to be able to speak, press, bear arms, equal rights under the law, and many other things. These are amendments of the Constitution in which these are given rights to you. And for you not to exercise these rights or exercise them properly is not only a shame to yourself, but it's a shame to every other people that have died to give you the rights that you have today. So you're disgracing them as much as you are disgracing yourself. It's important to vote because what you guys don't realize is this two-party system only exists because we continue to allow it to. Because as America, we're so with titles. We as American people have to get rid of those titles. If we got rid of those titles, then there'd be no parties whatsoever. But for all you people that are either voting for the first time or you're young voters who are planning on voting in 2016, I want you to take this advice. When you vote on somebody, do not look at the name. Don't even look at the party, whether they be Democrat, Republican, or Independent. Don't even look at that. Look at who they are as individuals. Can you trust them? Do you believe them? Do you believe that they have integrity and the intestinal fortitude to not only do what they say, but follow through with it? Those things are important, not what party they belong to. Now let's also go into this. And let's go back. I'm going to go back for a second. Here's why both parties are at fault. Both parties are at fault because of, look at our country right now. Our country is about $20 trillion in debt. Even though that the unemployment rate is back below 6%, we have record poverty because people aren't getting paid enough. But how do you expect them to get paid enough when they can barely get to work? So how do you expect them to vote? When you don't give people an incentive to vote, then they won't. Because although I did just say that it is a right of this country, it doesn't mean that it's going to be done just because it's a right. There has to be incentive to voting. And with all these Republicans trying to strip voting rights of those people who are not upper echelon white, it's kind of hard for other black people and Hispanics and maybe even other ethnics and maybe even to some degree some women who kind of just feel, well, guess what? If you're going to strip me of my rights to vote, then fuck you. I just won't vote altogether. See, that's the wrong way to do things because then you really won't get anything done. And see, the Republicans have done this because they know that they can't just outright win elections. They know that their word is a bunch of bull. They know that they cannot beat any Democrat strictly head on just based on their own values themselves. That's why there's so much money that Republicans will spend over Democrats. That's why you hear such ideology, hypocrisy, and not only that, you just hear this venom that a lot of the Republicans spew because it gives great ratings. And those of you that are Republicans should be ashamed of who you elect in office. You really should. Because if you guys really think about it, if you're a Republican and you're not in the upper, let's say, not even 1%, let's say upper 10%, kind of defeats the purpose of you being Republican. Because really, they're not benefiting you any more than the Democrats are benefiting those who are not on Social Security or whatever. Now, here's where I'm going with this. If you're not in the 10%, let's just say 10%, you mean as much to those Republicans as a condom put on my elbow. You don't matter. Which means it defeats the purpose of you being Republican, other than maybe you grew up that way or you have a certain disdain for other people who are not white. That is the Republican view. Let us be honest with it. And even those of you that just so happen to be black, and those of you that just so happen to be black that are Republican, also take this into account. You're looked at by the own Republican Party that you have invested in. You're being looked at as, I'm going to say this nicely, you're being looked at as the dog. That's not an acceptable form of black in the party. Ask Herman Cain and Representative West. Those are your prime examples. You can look at Colin Powell, who was a Republican. You can also look at his answers and his responses to what his Republican Party is doing now. Speak for themselves. Democrats, I think here's where you failed. Democrats, you have failed the American people for one reason. And here's one reason, and honestly, this is the only reason you have failed them. You have become way too soft. I think this is why the American people have voted you out of the Senate. That's why you no longer hold Congress. The American people kind of feel like you are too soft. And I think in order to stay in the White House in 2016 and regain, I think you're going to have to harden your stances on certain things. I think by backing away from the president's signature achievements is also why you're not in control. Let's address another reason why we should get rid of this two-party system. It has handicapped the thinking of a lot of you. Because any person who is independent, on the other hand, you wouldn't rather not vote for them. Because they don't sit in those two parties. And there are some of you that just vote Republican because you only look at Republican views, or you only vote Democrat because you only see Democratic views instead of voting for the best person for the job. This is why the most popular people just so happen to be independents. Look at Bernie Sanders. I'll use one of the biggest examples, and who, quite honestly, if they were to run in 2016, they would have my vote, and that'd be Jesse Ventura. You look at their views, and their views strictly is this: they're going to tell you the truth, and I think that's what is missing in today's politics, is the truth. And I don't believe that you need $40 million to run for an office that's only going to pay you $200,000 a year. People in Congress make more than the president. The president's base salary is $120,000 a year. So why in the hell should he raise $150 million to run? That's ridiculous. We as American people should not stand for that. It's not right. It's not cool. We as Americans need to stand up and start voting now. And when we vote, we need to vote on what is going to move us together, what's going to move us forward, and what's going to help this country get back to being the best. Because let us again be honest with ourselves. We are not the greatest country in the world. I'm sorry to say it. And even as a veteran, quite honestly, there's nothing wrong with me telling you the truth. We are not. We are the best when it comes to locking people up. We are the best at killing people in our own country as well as others. That is what we are the best at. We need to vote for individuals who are going to help rebuild our roads and bridges. We need to vote on those people who are going to help our schools get better and better protected, not only socially and medically, but also so that these mass shootings stop happening to our kids. That school is actually beneficial to our children. That college means nothing more than 4 years of partying to own $200,000 in debt to have to work off for the next 40 years. We need to vote people that are going to help our veterans once they get back from overseas, whether they be there or presently here back in the country. We need to vote for people that are going to help them get back on their feet when they can't do it by themselves. We need to vote on people that are going to make sure that we have equal rights for everybody and not just stripping men of their rights because it's okay for women to supersede men in theirs. Stop electing these gynocrats. Stop electing these feminists. We need to vote in individuals who are going to really, in Mr. Obama's sense, move the country forward. And not just moving forward politically, but we need to move forward socially, economically, in every which way across the board. And we start by getting rid of that two-party system. And we start voting for people regardless of who or what God they believe in, because we started becoming a country that, if you don't believe in God, you shouldn't hold office. Last time I checked, our first 7 presidents were all atheists. 6 of them were Freemasons. Again, some of us need to do our research before we head to the booths and vote. And lastly, when we do those things, we will have done our country proud and exercising the one right that can never truly be taken away. I am proud to be American, although I am not proud of its politics. But one thing is indeed simple. If you don't vote, you better not bitch when something goes wrong. Because you are not part of the solution, you are only part of the problem. In closing, when 2016 comes around, hit those booths. Do your research. Make one of the most important decisions of your life one that you believe in. Young Americans, it's about time that our voice gets heard. And I want to make sure that you join me in that. You get out there and vote. You make those who are part of the Civil Rights Revolution proud. Those who no longer have a voice anymore because they are not here. Make them proud. Make those troops who defend all those rights on a daily basis, no matter where they are and no matter what they agree with the politics of why they're there. Do it for them. Most importantly, do it for yourself. Be part of the solution. Be a part. And not be the problem. Vote for peace and justice. And vote for true honor. And vote for those who really want to make an impact. Thank you guys for once again viewing my show. I will leave topics up for discussion next week. If you hit me up on my Instagram at IamCliffy, make sure you send me your thoughts. Oh yeah, the comment section that's under there, under my video. Make sure you guys leave those, positive and negative. Make sure you also watch my other videos. Let me know what you think. Spread the word. Anything I leave out, let me know. Let me know. Thank you guys. My name is Clifford Adams, and this is The World According to the Great One. And until next week, there are 4 corners. There's one world. Thank you guys for watching. God bless you.